Their admission was basically, well, the election's over. We lost. I guess we can pull this up now. And that really, is stunning to me. And I know that there's a lot of calls for retribution for President Trump. The retribution comes in the form of winning this election, but we can never have this type of weaponization in America politics again.
Part of this is, and I'll say this as somebody I've worked most of my career in the so-called mainstream media and television news, and looking at what has happened to me it's beyond disappointing. So as far as the White House and taking questions, usually we have like the big three or the big five. Are there conversations to mix it up a little bit? Let ordinary citizens or these citizen journalists who we've seen ask real questions and cover what's really going on, maybe put them in the front row and take their questions?
Well, those conversations definitely need to take place once we get, into the White House and we kind of set up those shops. The neat thing that we saw during this election cycle, right? Mainstream media, 90% of all the stories about President Trump, negative. 90% of all the stories about Kamala Harris, positive. We've never seen a more unhinged, unbalanced mainstream media before. But Donald Trump found a way to directly, talk to the American voters. That he was having that conversation directly with them, and it was through alternative means. It was through podcasts, Joe Rogan and others. It was through, an interview with Elon Musk on X that had 2 billion people listen to it over the course of the campaign. That he would go out and do the rallies, that he would do press conferences. He found a way to directly converse with the American people. And that's really what made the difference. So, I would think as we go forward, he is definitely a once in a generation kind of candidate in terms of his ability to directly talk to the American voters. But this is the way that you have to approach it, because the mainstream media is dying for a reason, because they cannot be objective. They cannot be fair. And the American public is going to tune them out.
Well, Michael Whatley, you're a rock star. I'm getting DM'd and, texts and tell Michael he's, people, look, everybody recognizes your hard work, your leadership. Congratulations, Michael.
Well, I am very grateful for that. And I also want to thank you. And I want to thank your listeners because, like I said, that mainstream media onslaught was definitely biased and against President Trump. And the way that we had to go about communicating with everybody and getting our message out, Donald Trump's message out about what he was going to do in this campaign really depended a lot on people like you and people like your listeners who heard the message, understood it, and went out and acted. There's no way that we win Pennsylvania without your listeners, and there's no way we can communicate with those listeners without people like you and others on your station and other stations all across the state. So I am profoundly grateful that we have allies like you all across the country to be able to get that word out about President Trump and his agenda.
Amen, brother. Got to continue to fight. Michael Whatley, chairman of the Republican National Committee. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
And his name's Michael, which, I fully admit I'm a little biased by the name Michael, such a name of a warrior, right? So Michael Whatley, with that news, love talking to him, love hearing from him. If you have questions or comments about what Michael had said, 855-839-1210. We have Judge Juan Merchan now delaying this decision, so kicking that down the road. What does that mean? He's not dismissing it. Is that because it's a jury trial? Some people saying he's between a rock and a hard place. So we have that going on. We have the breaking news with Dave McCormick now invited to tomorrow's orientation, as it's called. So your thoughts on all of this breaking? 855-839-1210. We'll continue the conversation, but it is another great day in America, is it not? Be right back.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Do you know the other day somebody posted a picture of my old house on the internet? It scared me and my family, but luckily it was my old house. See, I signed up for Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo, and this is essential because as part of it, it's personal information removal. I'm so glad I signed up. Personal information removal helps find and remove your personal information like name, email, and yes, your home address from data broker sites or people search sites that store and sell it. And that helps to combat identity theft and spam. Plus, you want the privacy in this day and age, don't you? Of course you do. So just go to duckduckgo.com/1210 right now and sign up for a week on us, a 7-day free trial, and then it's only $9.99 a month. And it includes a VPN, which you need when you're online no matter where you are, and also identity theft restoration. It is the 3-in-1 Privacy Pro solution you absolutely need, and that's why I signed up for it. duckduckgo.com/1210, duckduckgo.com/1210.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Attention Black Friday shoppers, TurnersvilleJeep.com is celebrating Black Friday deals all month long. Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Compasses, and Ram trucks as low as $349 per month with zero down. Example 2024 Jeep Compass, VIN number RT156841, 4-cylinder auto PSPBAC, MSRP $35,935. Close-in lease, payments of $349 a month for 42 months, with $349 due at inception. Total payment $14,658, 7,500 miles per year. Residual value $17,967. Tier 1 credit through Stellantis Financial includes $4,250 in rebates. Includes all fees except tax, title, registration, and $599 doc fee. Offer not valid with trade-in. Offer subject to credit approval by third party. Ends 11/30/2024.
Got a shopping list a mile long but need to charge your EV? No problem. Now you can fill up your cart and your battery at the same time. With a convenient network of Shell recharge stations at some of your favorite shopping spots, you can get everything done in one trip. Shop for groceries, clothes, and more while your EV charges up. And never miss a beat. Shell Recharge. Download the Shell app today to find the nearest Shell Recharge location. For more information on locations and how Shell measures reliability, visit shell.us/Shell Recharge.
This holiday season, spread some cheer by stopping by Cozy Jewelers for their Black Friday toy drive. From November 23rd through the 30th, save 20% off select in-stock items at Cozy Jewelers when you bring in a new unwrapped toy. Paul Cozy will help you pick out the perfect gift that will make this the most magical holiday ever. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carrot, and cozy. Visit Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square for their Black Friday toy drive, November 23rd through the 30th, or cozyjewelers.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Riverton, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
But yes, are we talking about it? Yes, all the time.
Speaker Johnson, live.
Mr. Speaker. Good. We talked a little bit about it. I'll be having further conversations. My plan is to be at Mar-a-Lago all weekend to iron out details on the plans ahead. So, as you can imagine, right now he has a lot going on. He has to fill out a cabinet. He has to appoint his top staff, and he's beginning to do that. We're delighted with the picks so far. I think it's a great showing for the country. But he and I have both had a lot going on. So we'll be talking about that and a number of other items over the weekend. I'll see him, I think, Thursday night, and their preliminary plans are going to come to Capitol Hill tomorrow. So we'll have lots of time over the weekend and the week days ahead. So we'll stay tuned on that.
Mr. Speaker.
One second, I'll continue my sentence here.
There's obviously an important leadership race happening in the United States Senate. Do you have a favorite in the race?
Somebody yelling Trump.
Do I have a favorite in the race for Senate leader on the Republican side? They're all my favorites. How about that? Look, I think there's some really qualified candidates over there. All three of these gentlemen are friends. I'm not going to put my thumb on the scale on that. I got enough to manage over here. But whoever is ultimately elected the new leader, we look forward to working with them, beginning immediately. And I have been working for a long time, over almost a year now, with the previous Senate leadership and with leaders of key committees over there. Our teams working together methodically, deliberately, consistently to prepare for the eventuality that we now see. We really believed it wasn't just, oh, they were making fun of the speaker, oh, his sunny optimism, he thinks he's going to win. I really believed from day one, I believed it in my heart that we would win unified government. I knew that the people were disgusted really with the direction of the country. I was feeling it as I was going out traveling around the country. I mean, I went coast to coast, north, south, east, west. That energy was out there. I don't think the polling was fully measuring that. And I was gauging that off my own observation everywhere I went in the country. So this was not a surprise to us, and we've been prepared for it, and we look forward to whomever selected leader to go forward.
Mr. Speaker.
Have there been discussions about the use of reconciliation to push forward the forthcoming budget bills?
Yes, we have been talking for almost a year about the use of the budget reconciliation as a method to achieving some of the desired ends. We have to fix everything. I told President Trump many times, and we've all discussed, we believe we could be the most consequential Congress in the modern era, and he the most consequential president, because we quite literally have to fix almost every metric of public policy. Everything is a mess. Everything. So the budget reconciliation process is a very efficient means to solving a lot of that, everything related to the budget, spending, and all the rest, regulatory reform. So we have lots of very specific plans to kind of do that, and the details of that will come together in the coming weeks.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, since you raised this, can you tell us a little bit more about what you expect from the president-elect? Is he coming here to the Hill? You know, what's on the agenda?
Well, I'll say the tentative. I didn't intend to break this as news this morning, but since I said it, I invited President Trump is going to meet with President Biden at the White House, and so it was suggested. In fact, I think he said it first before I did, but that he wanted to come and visit with House Republicans. So we're working out the details of him gathering with us potentially tomorrow morning before he goes to the White House. And that would be a great meeting and a moment for all of us. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy here. We're really grateful for President Trump leaving it all on the field to get reelected. He quite literally did. I mean, they scheduled him almost every hour of every day for months on end. And he did that. And that's what inspired his stamina, inspired so many of our candidates and incumbents around the country to go and give more and do more and lead more on the field because he was doing it. And I think the American people appreciate that. I think that's reflected in the mandate that he was given winning the popular vote and the electoral college decisively. And we're excited about that, to celebrate that moment with him. He certainly deserved it.
Mr. Speaker.
Are Republicans drafting a plan to get rid of the Department of Education? Has this been discussed with
Great
the
question.
president-elect? It is something he has suggested on the campaign trail.
We're not going to get into any details about any specifics with regard to reforms in specific departments yet. There's lots of ideas on the table, but we got to work together, build consensus, work in coordination with the Trump administration on the order of the reforms and how we do it. So I'm not yet ready to give you details on that, but you can stay tuned. Maybe one more.
Mr. Speaker.
You were very concerned about non-citizen voting. What's your assessment of the impact that non-citizens had?
Question to House Speaker Mike Johnson about
the mantra and what we said
illegals voting.
at the rallies and what President Trump was apt to say all the time is we had to make it too big to rig, and we did. But we know for a fact, it is a fact, that non-citizens voted in some places around the country because they were signing up to vote and they were defying federal law, but the states were not enforcing the requirement that there be proof of citizenship before they signed up. So I am grateful to tell you, and I said this on the campaign trail for a year, that I had confidence that because of the chaos that was related to the 2020 election, most of the states got busy, to their credit, the legislatures in the states, got busy and passed legislation to shore up their systems in states around the country. I mean, there were hundreds of pieces of legislation that were passed, duly enacted, signed into law by the governors that shored up those systems to make sure they would be more secure. There were a few states we were still concerned about, but I'll tell you, because of the attention that was given to it, you had eyes on those elections very closely. You had lawyers ready and prepared.
More than 6,000 lawyers.
District courts when necessary, they did. You had poll watchers and precinct captains, and some of those are still working right now. There will be recounts in a couple of these races that will be very closely monitored. I'm happy to report to you that because of all the emphasis we placed on that, and because of all the attention the American people put on it, that I think we were able to limit to a high degree the amount of fraud and irregularity and many of the things that concern all Americans after 2020. So that's a good sign. It's another hopeful reason, another thing to celebrate about our new day in America. So thank y'all for being here this morning.
So that is a live news conference. We joined as Republicans take that victory lap, and you see the House Speaker there at a podium that says a new day. I would have called it, a new dawn, a new day in America. Can't help but say that. But on a serious note, one thing that he did mention, and this does involve Pennsylvania, as he was joined by other, House leaders there. But what are they talking about? They're talking about Republicans here in Pennsylvania. You've heard me interview many times State Representative Ryan McKenzie, Republican, who unseated the Democrat Representative Susan Wild. That was a huge upset, and many hoped for it but didn't really see it coming. I will say that I was interviewing. I asked Dan, can we just talk to this? I like this guy. I like the State Representative Ryan McKenzie. I hear good things about him. I think from what I'm hearing, he's running a great grassroots campaign. Nobody gave him a shot. He just went door to door. He was on a shoestring budget and really got traction. And what I would say was just a common sense, wonderful campaign with a truly authentic candidate. You remember my interviews with him. And then as well, remember that businessman Rob Bresnahan, he defeated Representative Matt Cartwright, another Democrat here in Pennsylvania. So we can take a victory lap. You should take the victory lap. And that was something that I think was astute of Chairman Whatley, Michael Whatley, when he said that, because without you standing in line, I know I had relatives, a close relative, who realized at the last minute, two close relatives, who realized at the last minute that they weren't able to vote because of different work and situations. And so I said, you have to vote. You have to do this. You must do this. You cannot just say you're too busy. And so how many of you did that, where you either did a provisional or you checked on your mail-in ballot and realized that it didn't look right, you had a suspicion, you waited in line? That all mattered. That played into this. So definitely pat yourself on the back if that's you. But we have this word, the breaking news as well. And that's why I wanted to take this news conference with Johnson, that he's saying that as Trump heads to meet with Biden tomorrow, in fact, he'll do a detour first. So before the meeting with Biden during this transitional meeting, as they often do, Trump is going to visit the House of Representatives, and meet with Republicans there. So as they strategize. So these are important times. And you heard it in Chairman Whatley's voice, that he's losing his voice. It doesn't seem that they've taken a moment to just take a break or have a spa day. Nothing like that. They are getting right to work because they keep saying the word mandate. I think they feel the weight of the American mandate, but unfortunately, as you heard House Speaker Johnson say, it's a hot mess. And so there's a lot to fix. And so they get to work very quickly. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic building a reputation for transforming kitchens with such such professionalism and precision and such care. From custom cabinets to the countertops to the backsplashes to the all-important storage solutions, Kitchen Magic gets the job done and fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. So trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades, Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation. Go to kitchenmagic.com and let's cook up something extraordinary. KitchenMagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What comes to mind when you hear the word gratitude? Maybe it's a daily practice, or maybe it feels hard to be grateful right now. Don't forget to give yourself some thanks by investing in your well-being. BetterHelp is the largest online therapy provider in the world, connecting you to qualified professionals via phone, video, or message chat. Let the gratitude flow. Visit BetterHelp.com/healthieryou today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/healthieryou.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. The holidays are almost here. Is your smile ready? Ready for all those pictures? Ready for all those holiday close-ups? Well, whether it's ready or not, those holiday pictures are coming. So if it's not ready, reach out to my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. As you know, my entire family goes to Dr. Mike. His level of care and commitment to dental excellence is simply unmatched. And if you're nervous to go see the dentist, don't be. Dr. Mike is a great guy. 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Great music playing in the office. Great staff who works there. They're terrific people. And if you need a complex dental procedure like a dental implant, Dr. Mike has been recognized among his peers as a master of dental implants for 10 consecutive years. That's right. So get that beautiful, healthy smile you deserve. And listen, my kids go to Dr. Mike. We all go to Dr. Mike. He's my dentist. People ask him all the time, does Rich really come here? Yes, he's my dentist, and Mama Zioli discovered him for our family. So reach out to Dr. Mike today, 856-786-2020, or veneriadental.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
So as the Trump cabinet fills up, we've talked a lot about it over the past couple of days. What about education secretary under Trump? Because, of course, we've heard so much about the Department of Education getting rid of it, right? And so in the past, we know that Betsy DeVos, she was somebody who was an important voice and was criticized. Former Education Secretary DeVos revealing she's open to the prospect of returning to her former post in 2025 under a new Trump administration. Do you see a repeat with her? Or do you think that Trump moves on? We've seen all these cabinet positions getting filled. So I just ask your take on education, what you think of that, and all of these different cabinet members that are being named. While you think about it, I want you to listen to Trump posting on his Truth Social initially his philosophy on the Department of Education, what needs to happen as we try to fix our educational system, post-COVID and post all of the indoctrination that we clearly saw and we voted on. So listen in. Here's President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
So that's President-elect Trump. Let me know your top picks as we learn his cabinet choices or reported choices. You know, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, we've been telling you about this morning and yesterday as well, is it looks like is slated to become Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security. And, you know, he has to quickly work and name all of these different members of the cabinet, right? Because he has to fill some 4,000 jobs. But these are the top jobs that obviously there's a lot of jockeying. There's a lot of lobbying over the jobs. And so Trump reportedly chose Secretaries of State, Homeland Security, United Nations Ambassador, Environmental Protection Agency Administrator. Those were the first, you know, types of cabinet level jobs that are important. Then they have to go through the Senate confirmation process. And so we're looking at White House Chief of Staff. We've told you obviously about her and the border czar, Tom Homan. So, you know, as you think about what's happening here, where is Trump right now? He's in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. He'll travel tomorrow to D.C., but I kind of like the fact that he's in Florida, that he's not in D.C. And again, it's a physical reminder, his physicality, if you will, that he's not a swamp creature, right? He was never a career politician. So South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and so she's somebody who will be in there as a very loyal person. Remember, she was a contender, we were told initially, for the Veep. It looks like he's going to pick Senate Marco Rubio. That's the latest word, Secretary of State. That one came as a little bit of a surprise, and some of you not liking Rubio. Trump asked Representative Mike Waltz, a Republican from Florida, to serve as his national security advisor. So just give me your take on these, your pulse, taking your pulse, 855-839-1210. And then, as I had mentioned, Representative Lee Zeldin, Republican of New York, he is tapped to lead the EPA. And that's critical, too, when you think about the fact that, first of all, Zeldin is a Trump ally, but as well, he's somebody who understands the importance of, yes, having the highest environmental standards, but not doing the government overreach that we've seen that crushed jobs and crushed these energy companies that right here in Pennsylvania, you think of fracking and how Trump has said we're going to reopen that because it's a clean source of energy. And Trump pointed out instead, what are we doing? We're literally buying fuel from Russia, which is crazy. And so why not make sure that we have this somebody has a strong legal background, who's a fighter for these America First policies. So we also know that somebody who I've interviewed, Trump expected to announce Stephen Miller for the White House position in the coming days. We talked about him. We talked about Tom Homan is going to be the next border czar. But for you, and then, of course, Elise Stefanik, I think that was yesterday. I have to stop myself and say it's only Tuesday. It feels like, we've been here 7 days with so much work going on and so much breaking news. But yes, then who replaces her? Because Elise Stefanik, of course, representative from New York as a House member. But she has confirmed she did accept that offer. She got it. That all started Sunday, as she'll be the new United Nations ambassador. So just your taking your pulse, 855-839-1210, the number to call. I love it when on our group text we call ourselves the Amalfi group. That's our group text title among those of you who joined me in Italy last year. And for those of you who may be thinking about joining this year, yes, we're off to paradise once again, talking about the Italian Riviera on a gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. And they do deliver, friends. Trust me. Join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre. $53.78. Yes, that does include your airfare, which is, I know sometimes you're like, Dawn, that can't be right. $53.78, and that includes your airfare? Yep, it sure does. Dining events at the wineries in Tuscany, even an authentic farm visit to see Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. Toll free, you got to call 888-733-9494, or you can always just go to conservativetours.com. Scroll down, conservativetours.com, and you'll see some of the pictures and the full descriptions of the itinerary. Oh, those hidden Italian villages you've never seen, like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, Milan, and concluding on the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre. Conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
How's this for a dream Politics and Pints event? It's me, Rich Zioli, with Jimmy Fela on stage together Wednesday, November 13th, 7:30 p.m., Media Theater in Media, PA. And we're going to have a cash bar available for soft drinks, beer, wine, and cocktails, which, yes, you can buy us. Media Theater, Wednesday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a hot show, and it's going to sell out really fast. So get your tickets right now at 1210WPHT.com. And I'll see you for our next Politics and Pints, Zioli and Fela, November 13th.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Better water leads to a better everyday experience. With treated water from Martin Water Conditioning, you can experience silky smooth skin, refreshed hair after a morning shower. Your clothes and towels feel softer. They're no longer battered with minerals. Your coffee and teas taste better. Your appliances using water lasts longer. Even before you leave your home, your entire morning experience is improved with better household water. If you want to experience better water, call Martin Water Conditioning 800-887-7555 or go online at martinwater.com.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
California Psychics is America's most trusted psychic network. But don't take it from us. Take it from our customers.
You know, it was probably the best psychic reading I've ever had.
Thank you, California Psychics. You changed my opinion about getting a reading over the phone.
It was definitely worth it, and I would do it again in a second.
That's because at California Psychics, we only connect you with the best. In fact, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us. So we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20.
I've never had a phone call make me so excited for the future.
So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get $5 off with code RADIO5 when you download the app.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
So much news breaking this morning, but I wanted to just revisit some of these cabinet positions. I know my husband and I because I had no question, as you know, a lot of us, we had no question, like Trump was going to win. We were already beyond that. And so I'm not surprised at all. But then we started going, who's going to be the education secretary? Who's going to be, I think the one that Larry and I early on agreed that was a lock is North Dakota governor and former presidential candidate Doug Burgum, energy secretary, right? I met him, and some of you met him here in our area when he was at that great event, Trump Force 47 event. And this one was in Chester County. He is just so well spoken about energy. And obviously this is what he does, what he knows. He served as a liaison between Trump and oil executives during his campaign and reportedly helped shape Trump's energy policies. But he's a good guy, very plain spoken, business guy, billionaire. So I think Trump relates to, you can see where they would have relatability, but Burgum could also be asked to serve as Trump's energy czar, and that's a new position. So some of these, I guess Trump is, in many ways, he's creating some new positions in there and then plans to eliminate other positions. And so that's fascinating to me, right? As he named Tom Homan, he's the border czar. But does that mean that you'll have these other positions that Trump puts in a more formal type of position? And so this one with Burgum, will he be energy secretary, or will the title be different, or will they create new positions? So I have a lot of questions here, because that's one thing that I've heard, that they're creating some new positions where they really want to focus, for example, on things like energy, because that was a campaign promise. And we know with regard to fracking and newer technologies, that sort of thing, that maybe somebody like Burgum would be the energy czar, meaning that he can laser focus in on what's going on. Then an energy secretary, has more managerial, kind of broader, maybe a little more bureaucracy that you have to deal with some of the, some of the other things that are more of a pain in the rear end of the job, let's say. And so this is a new position that Trump reportedly plans to create to coordinate the policies that would span multiple agencies. So that's what I'm seeing here, that Trump realized that he needs some people who can focus on the policy and rewriting some of the policy and weaving in and out of the bureaucracy and the swamp. Maybe that's where you have somebody that's, in air quotes, an energy secretary, somebody like Doug Burgum, who's a hands-on guy who understands what we need, and he's the energy czar. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's really smart. What about the CIA director? I don't think that these positions have been named. I'm just putting out, and I'm putting together, everybody from Reuters to, Bloomberg. We've got Axios. I'm combining a lot of these different publications and reading between some lines. So as I look at this, there are multiple individuals up for the CIA director job. That's what I'm just trying to look through here. Education secretary. I did not realize that Vivek Ramaswamy was one who was mentioned as education secretary, but he is one of them. And then I mentioned to you earlier that another one was Betsy DeVos, who obviously held that job. I'm not sure if they want her to return, or would this be a situation where they take somebody like Betsy, who we all know, and she would be the policy person, but then they have somebody who's the czar. In other words, somebody who can get in there in a very specific laser-focused way. I like that. And I don't like creating new positions in government because God knows we have way too many. But part of this, I believe, is that they're going to wipe out departments. They're going to wipe out some bureaucracy and some of the swamp that existed, and that's how they can justify these other new positions that are they're laser focused. And then what do you see for RFK Jr.? Obviously they want somebody who can help shape health policy. And RFK Jr., he's a lawyer, but he's known as an environmental lawyer, but he also talked about health a lot. And with the ingredients that we see are super processed. So where is the role that we see for RFK Jr.? See, I think it's smart to look at people who are the policy wonks, the policy experts, their attorneys, so they can get in there and rewrite the policy. And then as well, the doers, the people that can be named a czar of something, whether it's a health czar, that sort of thing, and be out front on these issues. And then where does Elon Musk, where does he fit in? He's talked about leading this new government efficiency commission. So for somebody like, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, okay, here's what I'm going to say. To me, if you have somebody who's already somebody who's a CEO of a major company, how does that look if he's part of an administration? Generally speaking, I thought that you had to give up your other gigs. And I don't see Elon Musk giving up his day job. So then is he somebody who's just an unofficial advisor? Does he have an actual title? I don't think Elon Musk is going to give up the day job with the rockets and the electric vehicles. Do you know what I'm saying? You can disagree, but 855-839-1210. I thought it was a defining moment when Trump had put out on social media and stated that he was ruling out, just a big X, ruling out South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor, obviously, and then former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And so that was, to me, I'll say it was refreshing that he's saying, nope, they're not in for whatever reason. To me, looking between the lines, the word is that Don Jr. has his father's ear, and even Barron Trump. Remember, he was the one who said to his dad, "Hey, Dad, you gotta get some of these podcasters. You've got to get right. You've got to get guys like Joe Rogan. You got to go on these podcasts." I think that made a difference. I think every little bit made a difference. So his children, yes, have his ear, but we heard early on the rumblings that Don Jr. had really lobbied his dad to choose for his Veep J.D. Vance, who is fantastic. And so if you think about Nikki Haley or Pompeo, they're contenders, you know? And so maybe this is Don Jr. saying, hey, Dad, why even have the drama? You know that he's a one-termer, obviously. Why even deal with the drama of a Haley or a Pompeo, competing in real time in a job, So maybe that's a piece of this. I'm not too sure. I think Nikki Haley, there are other reasons, personal reasons that they didn't get along. But I would love to hear your take on this. 855-839-1210. Quick break. Do a reset at the top of the hour. A lot of breaking news. Stay right there.
The most important part of your financial future is the firm you choose. You see, all financial firms are not the same. Traditional firms that sell securities can't guarantee income and are vulnerable to bankruptcies, market losses, capital gains taxes, and ongoing fees. But the exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to protect over 5,000 clients from market losses and bankruptcies and provides guaranteed tax-favored income with the potential for double-digit interest returns with no fees whatsoever. Our one-of-a-kind proprietary system continues to protect billions of dollars in assets. Are you in or near retirement? There's only one crash-proof retirement for the American retiree. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. It's the story of Philly sports through music.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man. The music, the singing, you laugh, you tear it up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
joeconklin.com! Attention PHT listeners. The Bush Auto Group is bringing you, the listener of this station, exclusive year-end savings. Visit bushautogroup.com/save. That's bushautogroup.com/SAVE to unlock these special limited time offers. If you're searching for the perfect new or pre-owned vehicle, now is the time to act. These offers are insane. Head to bushautogroup.com/save and grab your exclusive year-end offers today. Philly rides with us.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The NBA is back, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All that you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more this season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. At to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
The breaking news locally has to do with SEPTA threatening major fare hikes and service cuts. Would you pay as much as 21% more? And that, of course, means more money from the government, because the biggest customer of SEPTA, of course, students. Because Philadelphia middle school students, high school students, well, they don't have a little yellow or a big yellow school bus or an electric or gas school bus, because SEPTA is their transportation to school. So, of course, that would mean more government spending. So that's a big story. We obviously have Philadelphia City Hall with protests outside City Hall this morning as we're looking at the Sixers arena, those proposals surrounding that. So we're watching all of that locally. And then a judge delaying his ruling on whether or not to grant President-elect Donald Trump's request to set aside the guilty verdict in that criminal bookkeeping case, a nonviolent situation, obviously, a white-collar crime. What do you call that? Criminal money case that was bogus, and another example of persecution. But this is New York Judge Juan Merchan delaying his ruling, and the decision by the Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Merchan is now due a week later, and that's November 19th. And so these court filings are now being released. Trump is currently set to be sentenced, by the way. Can you believe it? Can you believe I have to report this? It's just so annoying and infuriating. But Trump is currently set to be sentenced later this month on those, and they love to say this, 34 counts, criminal counts of falsifying business records. Just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, if you've been in outer space, this was such a sham and a shame and a low point in our country, in my humble opinion, because you had Trump during this ridiculous proceeding where they essentially tied the hands of both the prosecutors and the defense, I'll say. But you had witnesses who are the companies dealing with this saying, no, we were not victimized. Nope, he paid all the money back. We looked at this within ourselves. And, everybody agreed that there was not really a crime here as far as that goes. So what is the crime? That a bookkeeper said that they themselves noted something in a column in the bookkeeping situation. This goes back to Stormy Daniels decades ago, nearly 2 decades ago, and that they put something in a column. It should have been over here in this column. Did Trump advise you to do that? No, he didn't. And so I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and talking about a case that you probably don't ever want to hear about again. But that was the gist of the case. Like, where's the victim in all of this? Putting something in a column, and yet they spent, no doubt, millions of dollars in that prosecution to talk about allegedly falsifying business records to get 34 counts in a felony conviction. So good for you. At this point, I know that people are saying, well, the judge in this case, he really can't. What's he going to do? He can't send a sitting president to jail. You can't do it. And so what is he going to do? He should throw it out is what he should do. Trump's lawyers have asked to dismiss the case over and over to set aside the jury verdict. They did that, what was that, back in July? And that followed the Supreme Court ruling that talked about expanding the scope of, and really, I'm not going to say expanding the scope, or they had to look at presidential immunity. And the truth is that when you see the words presidential immunity, if you look back from back in the day, the founding fathers, they did make it, they did not specify it in detail. Presidents have immunity, period. How do you interpret that? I interpret it as, yeah, they have immunity. Boom, there it is. And so that was, people want to criticize this court. I think they did what they were supposed to do. But the case is just so obviously a case of going after somebody and going after somebody's business. That's every one of these cases where these are victimless situations where they just wanted to essentially harass somebody and use the courts to do it. And that's what you heard Chairman Whatley lay out there. So we'll talk about that. So now it's delayed more, another delay till the 19th, till next week. Ay. It makes my head spin sometime, I swear. 855-839-1210. Oh, did you hear the latest from that NPR, National Public Radio CEO? The important piece of this is that this is somebody, and I'll have to talk like they talk on NPR. This is NPR. So we'll talk about why is it so important to have nutmeg in your recipes this time of year, not just cinnamon. They all talk like this, and they get government funding. So not like the rest of us. You hear about layoffs in some media companies making headlines, right? They don't have to worry about that. Why do they have all that money? Because they get government money. Jimmy, let's play this if we can. This is the NPR CEO since last spring. Here's what she says. Catherine Maher.
For the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
Wait, can you play it? It clipped off the top of what she said. Did you catch what she said, the first part? She's talking about the truth. Why the truth, reporting the truth. So let's play it one more time. I know it's only about 9-10 seconds, but this is Catherine Maher. And I think this is one of her TED Talks. And she's talking about the truth. So do you think the truth is important in journalism? Do you think the truth matters? Well, here's NPR's relatively new CEO, and here's what she says about the truth.
I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
No. Our reverence for wait, just hold your thought, Jimmy, because I know you want to talk about this. Our reverence for the truth gets in the way. That's what she said. So number one, please God, this is like my prayer, please God, let's just let NPR, since they're so successful and they have so much money, number one, why are your taxpayers, your tax dollars, my tax dollars, why are we funding them? Stop. If they're so good and let them, we do not need to use our tax dollars in this tough time with the tough economy to fund them or fund. And I'll look up, while Jimmy's talking, I'll look up her salary. But wow, Jimmy Kelly, you've been doing this a long time. You talk about working with so many different legendary, iconic individuals in the media, including the late, great Rush Limbaugh. Jimmy Kelly, your reaction to the CEO of NPR saying truth gets in the way.
Well, Dawn, I must apologize for that little glitch there. These computers are just so mundane, and it's because of such hypocrisy and such. Let me find something that I could talk down. I got to find a word. It's a discrepancy or something of that nature as to why this man could not start the clip on time, because these computers are just so outdated.
Wait, discrepancy.
Discrepancy. It's we need to raise money to buy a new MacBook computer, because Apple is just so great. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But, for a liberal company, they just cannot come out of the 90s and realize that people do not have $3,500.99 to spend for a computer. It's just, and try to spell discrepancy as I just ad-lib that.
Discrepancy. So I'm trying to find her salary, and I know I'll find it because it's publicly funded, right? So it should be her big. I'm sure it's a big salary that she makes.
A FanDuel bet it's close to or well over $100,000.
So I'm looking at what did you guess?
I say close to or a little over $100,000.
100? Oh no, it's going to be at least triple that. Let's find out. But let's look at I'm looking at a 2024 record, but they're saying that U.S. taxpayers provided both direct and indirect taxpayer funding to NPR. So in the U.S. fiscal year 2022, talking about that, how much money, how much of their revenue comes to that. I'm just trying to look this up here in 2022 or 2023. But you're looking at a ton of our tax dollars, right? In 2022 and 2023, these foundations, they were up to, millions. Looks like millions of dollars, up to $4 million taxpayer funds. Is that right? So I'm just looking through here how much money we've paid them. That's just one document I'm finding.
That is
I will find it.
Incredible.
But
so,
we pump millions of our dollars into there.
And that they will be the ones to sit there and say, there's no liberal media to counteract the conservative media on talk radio. The liberal media is right there. They're giving you millions of dollars. Come up with a show that works.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't come up with a show that works on this radio station, and I've been here for a long time, if we come up with a show and it doesn't work, we're gone. But public radio, they're just going to let's just hand them $1 million. It's kind of like Air America when that came out. Like, how bad is it when the only person who actually got Air America was Al Franken, who was in the entertainment industry, and realized that you had to put on a show that people want to hear? People just will sit there and, it's just so horrible that, these people are just doing this. But I just need to go count my hundreds of $1,000s and go to Starbucks and buy a half decaf discrepanophagy latte du jour, whatever that is. And I better go screen some calls.
Yes. Yeah, you're by. We wish healing and a quick turnaround for our own executive producer Dan Borowski, who's out today. We have that flu bug that's been striking New York and New Jersey, and it's striking our teams as well this morning. So we got that going on. And for Philly commuters, and Jimmy Kelly is somebody, I know you take the trains. Many of us take SEPTA either on the weekend or to work. I can't take SEPTA to work because they're not running when I come into work. But now the headline this morning is that SEPTA officials gathered today to announce the proposal of an historically high fare hike and major service cuts at the same time because they have a $240 million budget deficit. And so it's a proposal that could increase fares, as this is being reported just this morning, by up to 29%. That's the hike. And then reduce service at the same time, reducing service by 20% across all modes of transportation. And so at this point, when you think of this, so we have SEPTA, we have the union right now. Their contract expired last Thursday night late. So they've been working without that contract since, Friday morning, essentially. And they've authorized the strike, by the way. They're just continuing to work with both sides at the table.
Oh, great. Here we go again. Another typical day in Philadelphia. Let's just go on strike. And, if they really wanted to do it, they probably should have done it on Wednesday night to cripple everybody for the Eagles game on Thursday. I'm surprised that didn't happen.
Well, SEPTA says they're hoping for approval of a new funding package, but a deal with Governor Shapiro as well as the state lawmakers and legislatures, that deal has stalled.
Of course it's stalled. Of course. And you know what? How long before they blame Trump for the SEPTA strike? We all know that that's going to be happening. Oh, SEPTA's on strike. Let's just blame Donald Trump. And, you have to wonder if people are just going to find it more cost effective to just take Uber if these fare hikes keep going up. At least when an Uber's coming. Do you ever stand out there and wait for a bus in the middle of January? It gets a little cold out there.
But how many students in Philadelphia, how many thousands of students, because we have, 55,000 students?
Around that,
How many students have to take SEPTA? They're the biggest customer.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're the one, they don't really have a choice because it's every day. And SEPTA, you get, you ride it for free, essentially. Yeah. And so the problem here that I see is that, here's what I would say. First and foremost, for school children, they should have the option of either taking a bus or I think you're right, take Uber.
Yeah, Uber.
If you feel unsafe taking SEPTA, with a parent feeling unsafe, well, they'll never do that, Jimmy, because it has to do with paying for public transportation and the unions and all that.
Oh, absolutely. It's like they have you by, pardon the expression, the gonads at this point, and they know people can't travel, and they know people like me who are sitting here like, if we don't have SEPTA, forget it. And if you're Uber, you want to sit there and say, well, maybe it's time that we offer some specials and some incentives for people to travel safely. Uber could be a big hero in all this.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, when you think about SEPTA in total, the SEPTA strike could impact hundreds of thousands of riders. But yeah, the confirmation, I was right, 55,000 students across Philadelphia, 55,000. The way they get to class every single day is on SEPTA. So essentially, that's a government contract. And again, how does that work? Are those federal dollars through the Federal Department of Education? Do they in part fund the transportation? That's my question. How does this all work? And then if you are guaranteed as SEPTA, so you know that a lot of your money is guaranteed, right? This is not a private sector situation. You have federal money, you have all the federal grants and federal dollars because in part you're paying for the students' transportation. Then you have the state level, the county level. So how is that they're dealing with a budget deficit? And I just think open the books. First and foremost, I want transparency. I want to open those books. We all should be able to go through the books and find out how in the world how do they have a deficit? How does that happen?
Well, maybe they should donate some money to SEPTA like they donated to National Public Radio. Maybe we would be better off.
Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Quick break. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
What a day to celebrate. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I have a New Year's morning hangover I haven't had since college.
What you guys have done over there in this election is unbelievable. Having Pressler on all the time, having Laura Trump on, having Linda Kearns on. That stuff goes a long way.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. We are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
First time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all the fatherhoods first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Revamp your living space with Emmons Remodeling.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts bring creativity and expertise to every project, ensuring stunning results for you and your family.
From new layouts to upgraded finishes, at Emmons Remodeling, we do it all.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on the web at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
More breaking news this morning is that illegal, the non-citizen accused of murdering Laken Riley, who I've reported on extensively, as you know, he has waived his jury trial and he'll be tried by a judge. So he didn't want a jury. You know, it makes me nauseous when I see this guy and he has, headphones on in the court because somebody has to be an interpreter for him. This is a guy, a non-citizen, who snuck into this country. His name is Jose Ibarra, and so he waived his right to a jury trial this morning. He was just in court. All these costs, all these tax dollars, it's just like a slap in the face. And so now a judge will determine his fate. The waiver was approved for this individual during a hearing, and this was in a superior courtroom. Just one day before jury selection was supposed to start. So he, court-appointed attorney, you have to have the interpreter there, all these people that have to be there to represent this scumbag. 26 years old, and as you well know, illegally came to this country, crossed the southern border illegally, accused of killing this beautiful 22-year-old young lady with her whole life ahead of her. And it was a brutal crime, as you know. Brutally beating her, horrible head wounds, strangling her to death. And so I don't have to give you the details, but it makes me nauseous that this guy has more rights than so many of us. But this was before a judge, and they say that they have his fingerprints collected on the victim's phone. They've got all kinds of DNA evidence and tangible evidence. And the defense team, he has a team of taxpayer-funded attorneys requesting that they throw out all the tangible evidence, such as, his fingerprints and the DNA and all that evidence. They're claiming it was collected illegally. I know it's the process, but it's just more insult to injury from somebody who should not have been in our country in the first place, had been, according to witnesses, he was stalking others allegedly. And here's this beautiful nursing student with her bright life ahead of her, found murdered on the grounds of the University of Georgia after just going out for a jog in broad daylight. Makes you sick. But that's the latest breaking news. This guy is scumbag just in court. And, we have to hear about him now. I'll try to report on it as little as possible, but I just do want to you're going to hear it somewhere. So now it's going to go before a judge. A jury doesn't have to sit and listen to this because he knows full well if it's a jury, you're going to have emotion. I would say any way you look at it, they have a ton of tangible evidence against this guy. So we'll continue to follow the law and the judge and the ruling. Let's get to your thoughts. 855-839-1210. And we have Leslie. Hey, Leslie, you're in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Dawn. How are you? Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
So, and I think, I just have to say thank you for reporting on Laken Riley, because I think it's really important that we never forget that our girls and our young women are being sacrificed to this political correctness. That's not exactly why I wanted to call you. But thank you for that. I wanted to call because of Tom Homan. And how am I feeling about that? As a mom who lost her daughter to poisoning, literal poisoning, 3-methylfentanyl, which came across the border and ended my daughter's life, to hear that Tom Homan was going to be our border czar, I did a happy dance.
Yeah.
And I also had literal tears of joy because no parent should have to lose their child. And, up until this point, we could not talk about these issues because what it did was it led to the thread of talking about illegal immigration and the bad things that come along with that. And I'm sorry, there are bad things. And the loss of my daughter is, of course, is always in my brain and in my heart. And these are things that need to be talked about. They need to be brought to light. And I feel like with Tom Homan that there's a possibility of that. And we won't lose. Of course we're going to. There's too many people here now illegally. Of course we're going to continue to lose daughters. But the issue of all of the illegal chemicals coming across the border, poisoning, literal poisoning, and murdering our kids, someone needs to talk about it, and something has to be done to put an end to it. I run a nonprofit out here in Chester County called A Child's Light, and we help kids to get mental health treatment no matter where they come from. And I can tell you, we get mental health treatment for children who come from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, and every place in Chester County. The truth is, these little kids come across the border. The things that are done to them, I'm not even going to tell you. You probably already know. And we are funding them to get mental health treatment because it's that bad. We have to put an end to this. And the people that are suffering the most are young women and children, not just our young women and children, but their women and children too. And it's just so sad to see.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, you look at the spike in these deaths, well over 100,000, lives that we've lost, and I'm so sorry for the loss for your daughter. And
thank you.
I can't even imagine that. And I also think people like you, Leslie, you're heroic in the sense that in your grief you want to help others. I think that's not always the response by most people, but I guess for you it's a healing process to try to just help somebody else's daughter. But when go ahead.
Well, I think you can hear I'm fed up.
Yeah.
I'm angry and I'm fed up, and I have a granddaughter that, I worry about every day. And, and not just my granddaughter, everyone else's granddaughter too, and we really need to have these discussions and shine light on what is really happening. And that's why I brought up to you that with my nonprofit, we do fund kids from other countries. And here's the other scary part about this, Dawn, is that these kids come here, they're unescorted, 5, 6, 7 years old. They've been sexually abused. So they have all this trauma. They come here, drugs are so easily accessible, and nobody can take a chance with even smoking weed. You just can't. And so these kids now not only are our American, quote unquote, American children, are we losing them, and they're under the influence of these deadly chemicals, but now we're importing a whole new problem because these kids are now they're being Americanized, and it's like, here, take this pill. And so not only are we trying to heal our own children, but now we're trying to heal children that have experienced horrible abuse on their way here unescorted. It's just, it has to end. It has to end for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if I could go south of the border and scoop up every child who's being abused, I'd love to do that. But right now, we are flooded with those children. We can't even get to all of the kids that are out there.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, movies like Sound of Freedom, when it came out last year, and really exposed the true story of this, a government agent who leaves his job. He's a vigilante and risks his life and rescues hundreds of these kids from these human traffickers and shined a light on it. But for so many years, it's all been poo-pooed, the issue of human trafficking, child traffickers, the knowledge that, in fact, in the USA, the customers, if you will, and this is really the sick part of this that we have to expose, who amongst us, and these are U.S. citizens, like who are these people? And that's sick. And nobody talks about any of this. And yes, you're right with the opioid crisis. See, I think to me personally, it's a reason to shut the border down just to get control of, like you're saying, the opioid crisis, the human traffickers. And yes, I would fully admit that part of this is not even on those coming across the border, but rather the sickos among us in our country that we need to catch, who are the customers. But
for sure.
Leslie, thank you so much. I hope you call back, and I hope we can get your number, because I want to hear more about your nonprofit, how we can support you and learn from individuals like you. Obviously, you're learning so much in real time that is news that a lot of people, because this is not being reported on, we need people like you. Leslie, thank you so much, and God bless you. We have to take a quick break, but I just want to thank you so much, and for all of you. And that's why Michael Watley earlier, the Chairman Watley, as he was complimenting so many of you, you are really the eyes and ears of the community and the nation as we think about the power going back to the people in a very grassroots way. And Leslie is a perfect example of that, where she can give us this information. The so-called mainstream media, they're not giving it and not finding this out. So we have to investigate for ourselves. And a lot of times it's just filing that freedom of information request. So I really appreciate you. 855-839-1210, the number to call. For years, you've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. I think the world of the Chapman family team. By the way, they started out in Chester County, two brothers, Mike and Mark, starting out their business. Obviously, it has grown over the past nearly 3 decades. But by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I would only trust the Chapman family team. Did you know that Chapman also installs shutters? Makes sense. It's a perfect complement to your new windows. So for the rest of the month of November, Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. The right shutters obviously can really enhance the curb appeal of your home, whether you or somebody you know, maybe you're looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation. They do that too. But also with the windows come the shutters, all the hardware choices. So you can give them a call. You can text 610-431-8898. You can take a virtual tour online, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
Typical November weather returns to the Delaware Valley for the rest of the week. A mixture of sunshine and clouds today. Will be breezy with a high 57. Very cold tonight, mostly clear. Low 35 for the city. Colder out in the suburbs. And for Wednesday, expect plenty of sunshine, but a high temperature below average at 53.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, it's good for everyone to know you have the technology and the people to help. Like John, that guy is an artisan of teeth.
Having the expertise or the knowledge, having this equipment added to that just allows me to get those consistent, efficient results, and it builds up your confidence in my abilities. Having somebody like John, who's been in this business for decades, is a big help. He's able to come in using this equipment, and he helps me build the case as I'm actually doing the work. And that is unbelievably second to none for that, because that is a benefit I'm blessed with, to have that ability to have that lab here.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
So just a moment ago, you heard from Leslie Holt. Leslie, a principal CEO at A Child's Light in Malvern, Pennsylvania, in Chester County, and somebody that is a mom who's grieving, lost her daughter to the opioid crisis, and then helped start this nonprofit organization to try to reach out and be a child advocate, deal with mental health issues, and all of that. So, she's a life coach and dealing with certified trauma and all of that. So really appreciate Leslie Holt calling in and sharing her truth with us. Yes, we're sharing the truth, even though the NPR CEO thinks that we, maybe we put too much stock into truth. When I heard Leslie Holt speaking, she reminded me of a friend of mine and somebody you know as well, and that's Hope Danoff, who's somebody who, like Leslie, has in many ways feels a call to action to get involved. And Hope, I remember the first time, good morning, Hope, the first time you called in and you just were starting this, your own grassroots movement, advocacy, and reaching out to people and Trump supporters, and it really took off. And it's a credit to your great spirit. You are a bright light. So how are you today, Hope?
I'm doing great that I'm talking to you. Thank you so much, Dawn. I was going to say, talking about a bright light, you are such an angel, and I really find you be a real inspiration to me and so many others.
Oh, well, thanks for saying that. So I know that we had talked a little bit about, and that's what reminded me with Leslie Holt calling in. She had started her organization in part just trying to be an advocate and that sort of thing out of her own family tragedy, and was praising the Trump choice of the border czar of Tom Homan. And she's somebody else like you, like so many of us, parents in the suburbs who are sick and tired of seeing everything that's happening. But for you, you founded Republicans with Hope. I have my great T-shirt that you gave me that I wear. But I know that for you, what does it mean now that, is it all over for you? In other words, the Trump victory, and it really is not just the presidency, but now we know today the House, it's official, the Senate, And so for you, is it over or has it just begun?
It's just begun for me. This is a movement that has really taken hold. Republicans with Hope, it's really just a positive movement, and we are just beginning because really I find that so many of us agree on 80% of these issues, and it was so wonderful to see people like flag waving all throughout Philadelphia and Pennsylvania from all different walks of life. It's like, I'm not going to take it anymore, and I want to take my country back. I want to be able to respect the veterans, the police, have my children to be safe, be able to feed my family. And we all joined together from all different walks of life. And it really was very interesting to find out that the Republican Party has really kind of reinvented itself.
Yeah.
We are really the party of the people and of all different walks of life. We're the populist party. And that's what Donald Trump did. And it's really so exciting to see. So we're just beginning, and we're really reaching out, and we're just growing.
So for you, you've met so many people throughout this Hope, and you've attended so many events, and you were invited to so many big events. So where does this go for you? I know one of the events, we were together at that Montgomery County event where there are a lot of people concerned about the Title IX issues. Riley Gaines was one of the speakers. Where do you go from here? And when when we think about all the connections that you've now made?
Well, I think that number one is that the one thing that I want to have and I want to share with your viewers and maybe also with you, Dawn, is that I'm having a Sweet Sunday celebration at the Belmont Hills Firehouse, and all the volunteers are free, and the seniors are discounted at $20. And it's a Sweet Sunday celebration to thank everyone for, number one, this win and coming together to break bread on a Sunday and to thank, really God and everyone for making this happen. The other thing is that I really want to expand Republicans with Hope. In Pennsylvania, we're a PAC, but also throughout the country. And what really the baby and the sister of Republicans with Hope is I'm starting a nonprofit called Building Bridges with Hope. And how that came about is that I think I shared with you and your viewers that I lost a friend after 38 years because I voted for Donald Trump. And so she could no longer be my friend. And I realized that what I want to do is create forums and really tell people, not even just Republicans, but really create forums throughout the country and also to provide scholarships for people in need about what the conservative movement really is, and to really break bread with people about the things that we can agree upon. So I really want to bring Democrats, independents, and Republicans together on the issues that we can agree upon, and there's so many of them. So it really, Republicans with Hope is the Political Action Committee, but now we're forming the Building Bridges with Hope that kind of came out of the rib of Republicans with Hope as a way to be able to build bridges with people, but also give back. That's the other part of it, is to find people where they are and to give back, not just a turkey, but really to provide, help where they are and to move them up. So that's really, it's a two-part, nonprofit is what I'm starting. And we already are starting it.
And so just to back up a second, because people are going to be asking me about your save the date. So Republicans with Hope, that's the Sweet Sunday celebration. That's the one in Marion, right, or in Ballackinwood. It's the Sunday, December.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's just so people know where it is and when it is.
Oh no, so it's the Belmont Hills Firehouse from 1 to 4, and it's in Ballackinwood. And it's wonderful. That's where I had my first kickoff event there, Dawn. So it's really interesting. That's where McCormick showed up, and that was my first kickoff event, April 10th. And so it's really kind of neat to be able to celebrate with everyone and everyone that came out and volunteered their time. And so that's going to be a Sweet Sunday celebration, and that's December 15th from 1 to 4. All volunteers are free. Come and let's rejoice and let's move our country forward together. Together we can do this.
That's wonderful. And so for you just now knowing, well, it's mostly official. I mean, I think everybody's called the McCormick race. I don't know that I still think Casey, I don't know, hopefully by, a year from now, Casey will have conceded. But for you personally to think that Dave McCormick is, he's headed to Washington. He was invited by Schumer. I mean, it's obvious that, he has won that. He's the senator-elect. But just for your feeling of getting to know him, like you're saying with the events that you've attended and the one that he, you were hosting where he came last spring, what's your feeling of, are you taking a victory lap or your feeling of celebration, or just give me your reaction to all of it, especially with McCormick?
Well, the thing is that, number one, it's interesting that if anybody wants to volunteer and count provisional ballots, contact me at republicanswithhope.com, because we're getting people in place throughout the whole county and throughout Pennsylvania. So just contact me at republicanswithhope@gmail.com so we can get that together.
Awesome.
I do believe I counted ballots, throughout the night at Norristown from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., and the bottom line is McCormick, I believe, won this race. Mm-hmm. And so I don't believe that there's any way to victory for Casey. And I think personally it's a disgrace what Schumer is doing. They just can't wrap it around their heads that a career politician got kicked out. Yeah. So I'm so proud of my state of Pennsylvania that they absolutely saw the writing on the wall and they removed Bob Casey, because he did nothing, in my opinion, for Pennsylvania. And Dave McCormick is an absolute rock star. He's a veteran.
Agreed. Hope I have to run him up against a tough break, so I apologize. Hope Danoff, my friend, thank you. We'll continue the conversation for sure. And it was a breaking news story. I have to say that Schumer did reverse on that. He cut a deal that they would invite both the Democrat who won in Arizona over Kerry Lake, as well as Senator-elect Dave McCormick. So thankfully, that one is resolved. Quick break. Be right back.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. Its Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The NBA is back, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All that you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater, is place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more this season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. At to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hey, Mount Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
So just to recap some of the headlines this morning, SEPTA proposing that major fare increase. Would it be 21%, 29%, service cuts? Oh, my goodness. And then thinking about the economy, 23andMe announcing a workforce cut of 40% before the holiday shopping season. Holy moly. So we're hearing about more and more cuts. But ta-da, the 2024 electoral map with Republicans, with Trump sweeping the map truly. And going all red. So, haha. I mean, I keep hearing everywhere I go, either celebrate good times or YMCA. It cracks me up. But we learn each and every day, we learn just how historic this win is. It's your win. It's my win. It's America's win. And as I said, I started saying this early this morning on Kale and Company because I'm a little bit weary of people saying, well, the vice president, Kamala Harris, what a horrible candidate. Or, well, Joe Biden, his mental acuity. Or, well, no. It's not what this was. This was rooting out, first of all, pushing a reset button in our upside down world we've been living in, right, for 4 years now. And also rooting out the evil that crept in, was able to creep in. And yes, the pathway, if you will, was through the government, through our so-called institutions. But now the tough part is the weeding out of this evil that was able to infiltrate our institutions and then restoring such institutions. That must begin. This is a lot of work and we all have to be focused on it. But when I think about all this, I mean, Trump sweeping all 7 of these battleground states. Yes, he got 312 electoral votes, won the popular vote. I mean, it's just incredible. And today's news we took that live for you, actually, with Speaker Johnson speaking live, talking about the House of Representatives and sweeping the House. So now, really, when you think about how important this is, Republicans don't get played, right? You got to keep it together. Because I said in the past, and I said this, somebody's always getting played. This time around, Republicans did not get played. You heard Chairman Whatley talk about that, how they had it together. They had the lawyers in the right places. They're still protecting the vote, quite frankly. That count is still going on. And so we got to keep the eye on the ball here, right? But this is an opportunity, truly, to push the reset button. And that's my take. Dawn Stensland here reporting. Dom Giordano with a great Dom show just ahead. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dawn, speaking of that, Scott Presler with us. He's going to Jersey now. He'll be here at 2:30. And Jim Worthington, just back from a big thing with Elon Musk, says, why is Pennsylvania a swing state? That shouldn't be so. He's here at 12:30.
Awesome. Dom show begins right now.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. You know how important privacy is to me. I've been telling you for years.